Hi, folks. This is Rick Hammond of Triumph.
This is Mark Merrill, also known as Johnny B. Bad.
Yo, guys, it's Mark McKay.
Hey, this is Frank Fletcher.
Hola, amigos. This is Billy Sheehan.
Hey, guys, this is John Karabi.
Hey, guys, it's Leva Leone.
What's up, guys? Cassandra Carson here from Paralandra and the Life Project.
What's up, everybody? It's Logan from All the Pretty Things.
Hey, this is Cody Howell.
Hey, this is Sammy Lee, drummer of the band Red Rain.
My name's Reggie, and you are listening to the Weekly Pour podcast. Thanks so much for joining the most amazing twosome out there.
The most amazing things that can happen to a human being will happen to you if you lower your expectations. Welcome to the Weekly Pour podcast. Here are your hosts, TbT and Ace.
What is up, everybody? I am TbT, and that guy over there, it's still Ace. This is the season 3 premiere of the Weekly Pour podcast, episode number 77. Yay!
Are you saying I haven't been fired?
No, you haven't. No. However, if you do not decide to listen to my new band, that I am going to call them Testicular Torsion, then you're not going to be allowed to be here, because that is an important name for a band.
That's a great name.
I love that name. I don't even know how you get that.
I don't either.
No. I've watched a lot of, no.
Of two people here that have testicles.
Yes.
That sounds super painful.
Yes. Like, I don't understand. If you're watching live and you're on the Book of Face, switch over to YouTube. This is where we do our chat. We got our YouTube chat going right now. If you guys are in there, be sure to hit the thumbs up. Kathy and Lou are in there. At least drop in, say hi. Turn around my microphone here a little bit. Hit that thumbs up. Join everybody. The only person that's missing appears to be Natalie. She is currently unavailable. She has not been fired. However, she's taking care of some things. But Testicular Torsion, I think, is a badass name for a band.
Right. It's better than, not Testicular Torsion.
Yeah. What would I don't know. Anyway, Happy New Year.
Same to you. Happy New Year.
Thanks.
I haven't heard from you a lot over these last holidays, and stuff a little bit.
Yeah.
So I see you crawled out of the Garage Mahal, which has now been redubbed Barmageddon.
Yeah, thank you, Kathy. I love it.
And you're still alive.
Yes. Yeah, still alive. Sober.
Did you have a wild party up there on the hill?
No, I didn't. Merry Christmas, too, because, we haven't been on since before Christmas.
Correct. Merry Christmas.
No, we, as a matter of fact, we did not. We did not have a super big party. We were going to have some peeps over, but they canceled on us because of there's a stomach bug, if you will, going around this area. And one of them caught it. So I said, stay away. And yeah. So they stayed away. They didn't want to show up anyway because, why give that? That's like the gift that keeps on giving.
Right.
And
then,
no.
Then it's a waste of good liquor.
Yeah, exactly. No matter which end it's coming out of.
It's a waste.
Yeah.
Hey, Shannon.
Just getting wasted. Who's in there? Shannon. Sandra D. Kathy. Lou from Michigan. Don't get me started on Michigan.
But we had several people over.
For both?
Yes. Yeah, we've had a full house for 2 weeks.
Excellent. Still full?
Yeah. No, actually, Kathy's here. So
nice.
Kathy, myself, wife, oldest daughter, mother-in-law, we're all here.
Dogs.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I think they multiplied over the break.
That could be a problem.
They're louder than ever.
Maybe they should get Testicular Torsion.
Maybe. And what do you mean, don't get me talking about Michigan, because that was a great win.
Well, it was a great game.
Yes.
Yeah, that's about all.
Well, I like Michigan.
Oh, can't stand them.
Why?
I wouldn't poop on them if they were toilet paper. I don't really know what that means. We just lost probably like everybody that listens. No, it was a great game. And you know what? I'll say that Alabama deserved to lose when you decide the last play of the game to run it up the middle. Who does that? Especially when you've not been able to run the ball the entire game.
Well, and then your offensive line is just a sieve.
Yeah. Looking
that
forward
didn't
to the national title game. It's going to be awesome. Go
Oh,
Washington.
That game is going to be off the hook. It should be.
Yes.
I've never seen anyone throw a football like Michael Penix, which is so unorthodox, yet have so much touch.
Number
Especially
2 in Heisman
approach.
voting.
Right. Too good for Indiana.
Yeah.
Too good.
Couldn't stay uninjured.
Well, he was in Indiana.
Slipping on ice or something.
Well, just we don't have the same recruits that he could get at Washington.
No. And it makes you wonder, you know. I saw somebody posted this earlier, and they were talking about how Michael Penix Jr. leaves Indiana, goes to Washington, ends up playing in the national title game, ends up number 2 in Heisman voting, would have had the same success in Indiana if he would have stayed healthy. I think the answer is no.
No.
Here's the kicker. No pun intended. Who else over the past, 9 years has had talent to where if they would have transferred, maybe they would have been something better than they were here at Indiana? I don't know.
Who else?
I don't know. I mean, we've had Peyton Hendershot, but he's actually in the NFL playing for the Cowboys.
Okay.
There's a few others. I can't think of Dan, what's his name? I think he still plays for the Giants. There's been a few. Yeah, I don't remember. I could be wrong.
There's a handful of Indiana alum out there and
Sure.
Purdue alum as well.
Who?
Yeah, those guys.
Yeah. Oh, look who decided to jump in the chat.
Oh, Dan Freeney. Is that what he said?
Yeah,
Feeney.
that's him. Feeney. Roger Saffold. Yep. Wes, correct. Anyway, Natalie is driving home. Get off your texting. You can't do that. And apparently Ric Flair.
Woo!
That's what Wes just said. So it's January 2nd, 2024. Did you blink and 23 was gone?
Pretty much. We're at the age where tomorrow it'll be July.
I'm okay with that because that way I won't see snow.
But it's so crazy how time flies.
Yeah.
I know that sounds silly to say that, but it really does fly.
I know. It's stupid.
Especially when you do, you're as busy as we are.
I regret being a kid saying, man, this sucks. I wish I would grow up. Because now I want time to just stop.
Yeah, right. You wanted certain milestones to happen right away. I wanted to be 16 right away so I could drive.
Yeah.
I wanted to be 18 right away so I could graduate, that kind of thing. I wanted to be 21 so I could drink, whatever. And I remember telling my wife, and I still say this, 24 was perfect. We could have stopped right there. Right. 24 was perfect.
Yep.
You're still in your 20s. You're still in your young 20s. And I think we had married and a kid. We're good. 24.
See?
Not saying I shouldn't have all my kids. That's not what I'm saying.
Sure.
We just stopped time right there.
It'd be nice. But good grief. I don't understand. Because, I don't know. It's stupid. Maybe we're just old and maybe we sleep a lot. And that means our time goes away. I don't know. I don't sleep a lot. Do you sleep a lot?
Not like I'd like to.
Yeah. Not like I would have if I was 23 and didn't have to go anywhere and I just sleep till 2.
Well, you did that?
Like twice. That's because I was up till 2.
Weren't you on a boat?
Well, a few times, but not my entire childhood.
Well, you said, 24.
Oh, yeah. 24. I don't remember. I don't know. That's math. Can't do it.
Weren't you like in the Galatian Sea protecting America's...
Where is that?
I don't know. You're the seaman.
Okay. Well, the Galatian Sea. Yes. Yes, I was. Speaking of the Galatian Sea, weird. Reminiscing about 2023, which was just a couple days ago. We talked right before we took our little holiday hiatus, double H, if you will. We talked about the albums that came out in 2023. And we were going to use this next episode, this one here, our season 3 premiere, to start to really go over what we have as our top 10 for 2023. And way before we get into these lists, that sucked.
Right, because what did we learn?
We learned that a couple things. Number one, there was a crap ton of albums that came out.
There was a lot.
Number two, we narrowed this down by choice to our top 10. It is very difficult to narrow all of those down to just 10.
Right.
So we also decided, and we're going to throw in 5 honorable mentions. Do you know how hard it was to narrow it down to 15? And then to take those 15 and figure out which ones are in your top 10 and which ones are just honorable mentions. I told you earlier that I had to base mine basically on my mood. Like what was I in the mood to listen to?
Right.
It's
right.
stupid.
And what's disappointing too, speaking of time flying, is you're thinking of a record that you liked and you go look and it came out in 2022.
Yes, I did that 14 times.
Yes, it drove me crazy.
Or you have an album that came out in 2023 that you're like, you know what? This one was freaking fantastic. It was phenomenal, right. Whatever that word is. And this is going to be my top album of the year.
Yep.
And then you go listen to it and you're like, was that really better than this one? No.
It turns out it was a good record, but it wasn't, a great record. It's not making the cut.
Yeah.
That's what's tough about it. And that's why we have these honorable mentions, because they need to be mentioned, because they were probably even on the list at one point.
Yeah.
But then they got weeded out because so much came out.
And how many?
Go ahead.
How many of these that we do mention? Because I guarantee that although some of them are going to be alike, you and I are going to have a lot of different ones, just because of our taste in music, in general, between rock or whatever. Like you listen to more country than I do. I listen to more, I guess, heavy. I don't want to say heavy metal, but real heavy stuff a little bit more. And but narrowing it down to these was tough, and I can't imagine how many that were overlooked until somebody says, "Oh, hey, you need to go listen to this one," and then we'll like, crap. In August,
or they'll say, "Remember in episode 31 when you talked about or whatever, you guys talked about how great it was. Oh, we forgot about that record."
Yeah,
that's what I didn't want.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know, Wes. It's going to be a great 24 when The Rock came back to Raw last night. Yeah, because apparently he's out of money.
That was the big speculation, because he was in town or close in the area.
People like San Diego or something.
Yeah. People had spotted him and said, he's going to be at Raw. I didn't get to watch it. I was busy, and Raw is 3 hours long, and there's a lot to get through, so I usually wait. But I'll get to it.
That's why you have a recordificator, and you can recordificate it.
And I can skip over dumb shit I don't care about.
Exactly.
I don't anything know. A New Day.
Oh, see, I like the New Day. Because, it's a new day. Yes, it is.
Fling your pancake somewhere else.
Yeah. I don't know. Anything new with you?
Anything new?
Yeah, anything new going on?
I got a haircut today.
Which one?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Excellent.
It's on the left. No, other than all my Christmas gifts that I've got to sort through and get installed in my truck and things like that.
Yeah.
But no, nothing new.
I mean, it was a great couple weeks. We had some time off. It was good. But yeah, I may have actually kind of been looking forward to going back in today.
Why?
I don't know. I think just to get to June.
Just to get to June.
Yeah, as you said, will be like tomorrow. Or you said July. I don't remember what it was.
Well, I'm all right with it. Winter's fine with me as long as we don't get a ton of snow and it doesn't get too dreary. And we haven't seen the sun in how long?
It's been 15 days.
I don't like that.
No.
I don't like that. I'm fine with winter if it's about 40 and sunny.
Right. I like sun.
Yeah. But this cloudy, gray, slate metal sky is for the birds.
I don't know what you said, but you just made my Alexa go off, and she said she didn't have an answer for that, which is very funny because that means we won't have sunshine. It's supposed to be partly cloudy tomorrow and mostly sunny on Thursday, so we have a chance. But hey, you just wait for Saturday because now we've got a 70% chance of a frozen mix.
See,
I
can't deal.
No.
And it's just now the beginning of January. You wait till the end of January, beginning of February, when real winter hits Indiana, and that's the snowstorm we always get.
Yeah.
And no one knows how to drive, and it's wrecks, slide-offs, and stupidity everywhere.
Stupidity. Yeah, it's mass hysteria. Cats and dogs. It's crazy. Let's get into these lists.
Where would you like to start?
I don't even know. Yeah, Kid Rock ain't seen sunshine in 3 damn days. That's about right. I don't know. You know what? Honorable mentions. We talked about everything that we've got, and then we had to throw some in the honorable mentions. I think the most difference in our lists will probably be in the honorable mentions. So I don't know. I think you say one, I'll say one until we get through our top 5, and then we'll jump into our top 10. And then we want to hear from you guys in the chat. If you guys got something to say about our lists, jump in there because, this is important for you guys as well.
And if there's a record you like that we don't mention, throw it out there.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? That's so funny. I just thought of one. We're gonna do this like the whole time. I gotta look and see. I'm gonna do this real quick. I'll wait. I'll wait till a little bit later. But yeah. So honorable mentions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 5. I'm gonna start easy. I don't want to say easy because that makes it. Please keep in mind that when we give our honorable mentions, these are not because we don't like them. We do. The problem was they just didn't fit into our top 10 of 2023. Doesn't mean we don't want to listen to them. Doesn't mean we think they suck. These are ones we like, just didn't make the top 10. So if you're listening and you like these bands or you happen to be one of these bands, don't get offended. We like it. We just like some of the other ones better. It's kind of like Pop-Tarts. You like the cherry one? I like the peanut butter.
Which you'll never find again.
Yeah, I know. Thanks. So one of mine on my honorable mentions is one of our recent guests, Sammy from Red Rain. I have Red Rain's "Don't Look Back" as one of my honorable mentions.
That's a great record. They did a nice job with that record. A lot of good melodic stuff. We discussed Sammy's drumming on that record specifically being so good.
Right, and for their story, and I guess their lack of touring, they put together a good album. I liked it, and this isn't one of those things where, hey, just because we had Sammy on, we have to mention him. No. This is a good record, and if you haven't went and checked it out yet, do yourself a favor and do it. Just check that one out. So that's my first one on my honorable mentions. Again,
right,
not in any
I
order.
won't. If I've got a repeat, like the same thing you have, I'm not going to mention it because I have Red Rain on my list.
Okay.
But for the sake of shaking this up a little bit, I'll go with something different. So an honorable mention I had that was actually in my list was Corey Taylor's second solo record, CMFT2. So if you're not familiar with Corey is the singer for Slipknot,
Right.
Stone Sour, and now he's put out 2 of these solo records that are a bit of a mix of something you would hear with Stone Sour, and then maybe some Slipknot type of stuff, heavy, melodic, all those things. It's a solid record, top to bottom. But when I'm sitting and thinking, what am I listening to? Am I listening to these records all the time, more than once, that sort of thing? This one kind of fell off the radar a little bit when other things came out.
Right.
So it drops down the list to number 11 ish. But yeah,
Okay.
Corey Taylor, second record.
All right. That one did not make my list. But this should be a no-brainer. You should already know that I'm going to mention this. On the Prowl from Steel Panther.
Oh, yeah.
A good album. Just not my top 10, but it was good. And I honestly, that was the last one to make my list because I forgot that this album came out in 23. But it's good. I
Right.
was just listening to it like 2 weeks ago.
It was in the summer, wasn't it?
I think so.
Because we were excited about the one single that you sent me that day.
Yes.
Gosh.
Wasn't it 1987?
Yeah, that one. Yeah, so kudos to Steel Panther for that one. I have Winger's album, 7.
Ooh, as do I, in an honorable mention.
Yeah, Winger's record made my list initially, and then as I'm adding things and weeding them out and working, it just wasn't holding up to the top 10. I had to drop it out, and I hated to because we talked so much about how solid that record is for Winger. It's such a good record, top to bottom. But when I'm sitting and listening to it, is it better than the 10 I have on my top 10? No, I don't think so. But regardless, doesn't mean you shouldn't listen to it. It's a great record.
No, yeah, it is. It's when it came out, we were talking about, wow, this could be, album of the year.
We did say that.
And as you can see, for both of us, it's made an honorable mention. But very good album when you consider everything about Winger, original members, back from, the last time they put an album out and still touring because we actually went and seen them. Yeah, fantastic album. I had that one as well. This one hurt for me to put on my honorable mentions, but as we've been alluding to, just didn't fit top 10. 3 from the Winery Dogs.
So close.
Yeah. It's a good album. It's great. But for me and my taste and what I listened to, it just didn't crack the top 10.
Right. And that's part of the problem with this is that sometimes we know they're great.
Yeah.
But your taste and my taste, even though we're both metal guys and rock orientated guys, that one may rank higher for me, but lower for you just because of the style of music it is.
Yeah, exactly. I've got one left.
Okay.
So I'm trying to, I'm expanding my horizons, trying to get some other things into this. And as I was flipping through, I was like, oh crap, I haven't heard this song in a while. Well, then that led to another one until I listened to half the album again. I was like, man, when did this come out? It came out in 2023. The Mockingbird and the Crow by Hardy.
Right.
Fantastic album.
We talked a lot about that.
We've, many times. And man, it is good. Just didn't make my top 10.
Well, and again, Hardy has that line he's trying to not cross, which is the rock country line. So that makes it hard too. Do we want to keep our list a rock list? Do we want to include a country album? How do we want to do it? And then if you include a country record, is it going to be better than what's on your 10?
Right.
So no, I agree with you. I had Hardy on my list of honorable mentions as well. I went full country, and I've got Luke Combs Getting Old on my honorable mention. Luke Combs, I'm telling you, I don't think you like Luke Combs. I think
Nope.
you've got issues because his beard's better than yours or something.
Nope.
But as a performer, a singer, a songwriter,
Does he have a beard, or does he just have the Amish freaking football helmet?
yeah, I think it's a little more like that. But he strikes a tone with people, and
Okay.
he strikes a tone with me. He's melodic. His lyrics, kind of fit a mood. And
What
Getting Old, that's a good record. Good record.
you said it's called Getting Old?
Getting Old,
Okay, because the one before that was Growing Up.
correct.
Is
Also a
the
good record.
one after this going to be Dying Down?
Oh wow, I like that.
See?
We should suggest that to him.
Yeah, I'll send him an email.
Do that.
That was an 18 track album. Holy crap.
Those guys, the country guys, like Morgan Wallen, I think has his newest one has like 30 tracks on it.
Jimmy.
I don't know why they're doing this. They can't all be good, can they?
I mean, I wouldn't think so. It's very rare nowadays, no matter, I don't care if it's country, classical, rock, metal, whatever. It's very hard to find an album that you don't want to just skip a song or two songs.
Right. And that's part of the criteria when we get into this top 10 list.
30 songs. I mean,
30
that's enough
songs.
for 2 albums.
Well, even more. Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm all for short and sweet. If you give me 8 songs that are really, really good, that's fine with me. That's fine with me. But yeah, 30 songs, and a lot of those have done well on the charts. Another one I had quick, Chris Stapleton's Higher.
Okay.
Love Chris Stapleton. White Horse. It makes the honorable mention list just for White Horse because that's an amazing track.
The back to the Luke Combs real quick. This is the album that he remade Fast Car.
Yes, he did the cover of Fast Car, which dominated the charts, the top of the country charts and the pop charts.
Yeah, I remember that. So,
the cool thing about that is I don't mind listening to it or Tracy's version. It's not like I'm flipping. I still like the original better or the covers better. I like both of them. I think they're both. I think Tracy's is more poignant because her vocal is still so vulnerable. But Luke does a good job with it.
Well, and I think we've mentioned the Tracy Chapman one before because that's an LP, an album that if you ever find, grab it. And I think that may have come from Kathy saying something about that.
If you see it, grab it because and then give it to her because she can sell it.
Yeah, exactly.
See, and Kathy's got a list here that she's thrown up there. One of them is Godsmack. I worked through that record, and I like Godsmack, and I liked their record before that. This one I didn't like as much.
I feel the same way about Greta Van Fleet. I cannot do it.
And a lot of people love that record. Is it Star Chaser? Starcatcher.
Godsmack, Dope, Metallica, Kesha, Corey Taylor, Sparks, Extreme Winger, Greta Van Fleet, and Post Malone. That's not a bad list. It's all inclusive because you get a little bit of everything there.
Right.
I love that. That's what I love about music. I mean, you just threw 2 country ones out there, that were on your honorable mention. I had one, so I'm coming around.
We'll get you to a point where at least if it's got a little rock to it, you'll like it.
Yeah. We're getting there. Daggone it. So yeah, that leads us to our top 10. Here's what I think we should do.
Okay.
How about you go through your top 10, and whether yours is on mine, doesn't matter. We'll go through your list. We'll talk about the albums, if we want to throw that in there, and just kind of discuss these. And then I don't know about you, I do not have mine in any particular order with the exception of my number one for the year of 2023. If you have yours in a particular order, then definitely do that order. Excuse me. And we'll go through that. But once you get yours, we'll do mine, and then we'll kind of discuss it. And I want to get some feedback from from the chat as well, kind of get their take on what they think, because there could be things on yours and mine that they haven't thought about.
Right.
And I would expect the same thing out of them coming up with something that we haven't thought of, because I wouldn't have thought about Post Malone. I mean, Kathy mentions Post Malone. I didn't even know that Post Malone put an album out in 2023.
Yes, you did. I knew
Oh.
that. I hadn't paid much attention to it.
No.
Not that I didn't, but I haven't.
Yeah, I'm not a postie.
Only when he's hanging with Ozzy back there.
Yeah.
I just
Is that what they're called? Posties? Posters?
Yeah. If you're a Post Malone fan, are you a postie? I think you
Postie?
should. I like it.
I like postie. Or a post toasty. Remember those? Those were like the Pop Tarts of Post. Kellogg's had Pop Tarts, and Post had Toasties. Do you remember that?
I thought that was a cereal.
Post Toasties? You know I'm going to Google this now.
That's probably what my mother called them, and just called them that.
It's a possibility. Post Toasties is an early American breakfast cereal made by Post Foods.
Yeah, it was bland flakes of corn.
I thought they were the generic Pop Tarts from Post.
No, you had to put a ton of sugar on it to make it taste like anything, and hope the milk made it palatable.
What are grape nuts?
Grape nuts are amazing.
But what are they?
They're rolled whole grain little nuggets that are hard
Nuggets
as rock.
of what?
Whole grain goodness.
They break your teeth.
Soak them a minute. You got to soak them in a minute in the milk.
With sugar?
Yes, a touch, not a ton.
Okay.
A touch.
You know what I really like is Raisin Bran.
Oh, now you're going to spark a big debate.
Well, here's the thing. I remove the raisins.
How?
I put them in a sifter.
How much time do you have?
And I pick out the raisins.
Why do you buy it?
Because they're good. I don't. The wife does, because she likes Raisin Bran. So I take some and I pick out the raisins.
And then give her the raisins.
Sure, if she wants them.
That's the weirdest thing I've heard in a while.
It's not like I get macaroni and cheese and take out the cheese.
No, you just don't add it in.
No, that's not true.
We like the Raisin Bran competitor. What is it? Raisin something. It's really good. I can't remember the name offhand. I eat it all the time. Kathy got me started on it. And
She'll post toasties were a cereal. Thanks, Natalie. Daggone it. Oh, anyway. How the hell did we get on breakfast food?
Raisin Nut Bran. That's it.
Oh, okay. All right.
Nut Bran. We like it a little better.
Okay.
You know, the raisin has the consistency of dates.
Remember the commercials where they had the little squirrel that would go after your cereal? No, that was like clusters or something like that.
Yeah,
little clusters of yummy goodness in your cereal.
Yes,
and your squirrels would go after it in the commercial, and they'd steal your whatever.
Yeah, like, why do we live in a place where I'm letting squirrels take my food?
I don't know.
What am I doing? Sitting there letting them do it.
Yeah, why are you letting your flakes soak so long?
Well, not that long, just a little bit.
Well, long enough for the squirrel to come up and take your little chunky nuggets.
That's true. That's true.
See, start talking about chunky nuggets and your dogs start barking.
We had a top 10 list, didn't we?
Yeah. So have at it.
All right. So best of 2023. I'm afraid in some ways to reveal this just because there's going to be something we missed. But here it is. 10. Winery Dogs 3.
Which I had on my honorable mentions.
You did. I'm a big Winery Dogs fan.
Mm-hmm.
I got excited knowing they're coming out with that record. The first two Winery Dogs records are fantastic. This one's no less consistently fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
They have toured, oh my gosh, around the world 3 times on this record. We had Billy Sheehan on when this record, right before it came out and right before the tour.
Yep.
And he talked a lot about recording this. But yeah, Winery Dogs 3. If you haven't listened to any Winery Dogs, this is a good one to start with.
Do it.
Number 9, Nita Strauss, Call of the Wild.
Outstanding album.
It's great. And this is the second solo record that she has, I believe. And this has a lot of guest vocalists. Of course, you got the obligatory Lizzie Hale track.
Of course.
But my favorite one on there is the one with Dorothy.
Yes.
Victorious. That's a great song. That's an anthem.
Oh, yeah, easily.
That should be played at every sports arena.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good. Yeah. So the Nita Strauss record's full of Nita Strauss stuff, all the goodness.
Very Straussy.
There's some instrumental stuff on there that's really good, and then a lot of great guest vocalists. Alice Cooper's on there as well. That's 3 I've named. I don't have them all right in front of me, but it's a great record.
Yes.
Number 8, Last in Line, Jericho. So the band Last in Line released a record. I think it's maybe their 3rd.
Okay.
And Last in Line is basically Dio's band without Dio. Andrew Freeman is the singer. But this is Vivian Campbell, Vinny Appice, and a couple others that have played with Dio. And
is it Appice or is it a piece?
Depends on which brother or sister you're talking about. If it's Carbon a piece, it's a piece.
Yeah.
If it's Vinny, it's Appice. They fight over this. Did you know that?
No.
This is a family squabble. The sister pronounces it a peachy.
What the?
Yeah. They're Italian, so they're going to fight.
Oh, that's fair.
So it's probably got some sort of gangland hit out on it. He calls it a peachy. Take him out. So yeah,
I do love the album cover for that record too. By the way,
that ghastly looking creature.
Oh yeah, creepy.
Yeah, it is creepy. It's great. But that's a gritty, heavy record. Heavy record. And I like that. I don't have a lot of heavy stuff on there on this list. That's one of them. So if you're not familiar with Last in Line, pick it out. It's good stuff. 7, Foo Fighters. But Here We Are.
Okay.
Consistently, it's got a lull in there in the middle where it's kind of slow-ish. But overall, it's a solid record. And it's probably the most solid record the Foos have put out, I don't know how long. I mean, they're good, but a lot of times their records have a couple good tracks and then it kind of strays a bit.
Right.
This one's pretty consistent. It's haunting. This is the first thing they've done since Taylor Hawkins has passed, and you can really, really tell. I mean, you can feel
lyrically, it. You say that lyrically or like melodically?
I believe in lyrically mostly, but melodically a lot. In a handful of songs. There's a lot of just haunting overlays, moody mixes, a lot of atmosphere going on in that record that lends itself to let you know why they recorded it.
Sure. So yeah, I guarantee that had a lot of influence in it too.
Oh, I guarantee it.
Yeah. All right. So far, so good.
That's 7. 6, Dirty Honey. Can't Find the Brakes. Don't know if you know much about Dirty Honey. They're relatively new. This is their 2nd full-length record, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And they are of the bluesy Led Zeppelin sounding trifecta that's out there with Rival Sons, Greta Van Fleet, and Dirty Honey. They all have that Zeppelinish feel. I feel like Dirty Honey is one of the better ones of that and Rival Sons. Because they don't make it, it's not so on the sleeve that you're like, oh my God, that sounds just like Zeppelin. It's an influence, and it's in the records, it's in the recordings. But this one's just raucous fun. It's just fun top to bottom, and just fantastic sounding vocals. Dirty Honey's just a fun band.
See, and that's where I have the issue with them. I'm not sold on the vocals.
Really?
Yeah.
Mark
And I
LaBelle.
don't know if it's just
Mark
a
LaBelle.
style thing or what, but you sent me one the other day.
I did.
And I was like, oh, sweet. Because I had totally forgot about them, looked them up, and I was like, oh, 2023 album. Listened to it, and I was like, this just doesn't, it's not my thing. And I just couldn't get past, the music sounds phenomenal. I just couldn't get past the vocals. But I mean,
Wow.
sometimes that happens. So, I mean,
It
it's just
does.
one of those things that you got to, keep going
Right.
with.
And it does, because Rival Sons, I talked about them just a second ago. They put out 2 records in 2023. 2. Their companion, it's a double record. They split it up, is what it sounds like to me. But stylistically and all that stuff, it's out there a bit. But they are of that same vein. And Jay Buchanan, the singer, is phenomenal. Might be the best singer on the planet right now. But you don't know who he is. And nobody does.
Well, and it's exactly what I was doing, was going into that. And yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking at him. He's California guy.
Yeah. Kathy took a jab at Rush. No,
Wow.
Oh.
But I guess I understand it. I get it. I don't want to say not appreciating. I appreciate anybody that can sing, because they can certainly do it better than I can. But just not
Yes.
a thing that I'm into. And then to see her put that perfect example of not liking a band due to vocals, Rush. I love Rush. I love the vocals. But I just, certain
Well,
people you just can't
yeah,
listen to.
Yeah, and if I have to be honest, I get that, because Getty's not for everyone. Getty Lee,
Right?
I get that. So, you got your other thoughts on Dirty Honey?
No, I'm going to continue drinking. Somebody just walked in to get a drink. Somebody just walked into the bar to get a refill. But no, I'm gonna give them. I'm gonna keep giving them chances, because I want to like them. That's one of those bands like I want to like.
Yes, and I do that too with certain bands.
Yeah.
Number 5. I'm ready for this one. Nickelback, Get Rolling. That record is Nickelback being Nickelback, and we need that. God, do we need that? Heavy. Great Chad Kroger lyrics, or Kruger, or however you say his damn name.
Kathy will let you know.
Right. They tried to experiment, I think, with their formula a little bit on the last handful of records. And I didn't like it. I hate it, honestly. And I'm a fan, and I want them to be what they are. Just be what you are. And if people hate you, they hate you.
Right.
This album is pure, unadulterated Nickelback, and I love it. Top to bottom.
I did not expect that to be on your top 10, but kudos to you, because it's not a bad album.
No, it's not. It's not at all. And it deserves to be on this list. Number 4, Mammoth 2.
Okay.
Wolfgang Van Halen's second record. Melodic rock that has a lot of Soundgarden in it.
It does.
Yes, it does. It sounds like a lot of Soundgarden-ish influence. The guitar playing, I didn't think he could top that first record. I think this record tops the first record.
Absolutely.
He plays all those instruments. I believe he plays every instrument on that record, and the vocals.
And the flute.
His vocals are better, because we talked about the first record, and it was buried in the mix, and things were thin. They were thin, weren't they?
Yeah.
Production-wise.
I was going to say, production-wise, it seemed like it was lacking.
Yeah, it was lacking. But the music was there. The songs were there, but we just couldn't get it over the hump of the sound.
Right.
This one's 10 times better. He fixed all that. So, and he was already a phenomenal guitar player. He is not his dad, and he doesn't need to be. He is his own person. Oh my gosh, he's good.
Yeah, don't judge Mammoth WVH by that first album. If you're like, that wasn't too good, you have to give the second one a chance, because you're probably going to be pleasantly surprised.
Well, yeah, and if you get to see him live, go see him live.
Oh, yeah.
Because he'll blow your brains out with how good he is.
Or your socks off.
Or you knock your socks off.
Or you twist your testicle.
Oh, God.
I mean,
You ready for number 3?
Oh, I don't know. I'm still trying to get over Nickelback.
Number 3, the Rolling Stones, Hackneyed Diamonds. Great record.
So,
Top to bottom.
probably the past 2 or 3 weeks, I have been heavily into old Rolling Stones.
Okay.
Just because I never really Rolling Stones were never my thing. I think it was kind of, for me, it was kind of like AC/DC. Everybody liked them. I did not want to. I wanted to be different, not like AC/DC, not like the Rolling Stones. Here lately, I've been listening to a bunch of old Stones.
Yeah.
Love them.
Well, and we do that when we get older. I'm the same way. All the shit that I crapped on 20 years ago,
Yeah.
I'm coming back around now saying, oh, yeah, that's really good. You know, my
What were
son
we
is
thinking years ago?
Well, my son picks on me because I'm not the biggest Lord of the Rings fan with the movies.
Never seen a single one of them.
But I'm coming back around to it.
Right.
Like I'm not a fan, but he'll tell me, well, you never liked them. No, I do. I just want to like them more, so I'm going to watch them again.
Right.
But no, the Stones. I don't know if you saw the video for "Angry," but you need to watch the video.
Okay.
Because the newest Hollywood darling, Sydney Sweeney, is doing her best tonic attain down Sunset Boulevard in the back of the car.
Okay, you have me there.
I mean, they don't make videos like that anymore until the Stones come along.
Okay, yeah, so, you had me at Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah, that's number 3. That's a great record. The Stones are 110 years old, and they are down a man because Charlie Watts has passed.
Right.
But gosh, they're still good. I don't know how they do it. Still good. Number 2. Ready for number 2?
Oh, let's do it.
The Struts, Pretty Vicious.
Okay.
Struts is an English glam rock band.
Yeah.
They've been around. This is probably their 5th or 6th record. This is, I think, their most polished piece. It's hooky as heck. We talked about not skipping a song.
Right.
I don't skip songs on this one.
No kidding.
No kidding. I love every single song. Luke Spiller, the singer, does his best work on it. He sounds great. He's one of those singers that's very evocative in how he sings. It's like it's like David Bowie. It's like Freddie Mercury. It's like those guys that have that little tease in their voice, and you can see it, but you're listening. So if you don't know the Struts, that's a good place to start. They've been around a little bit. They're not real big here in America, but they're here all the time touring. They're great.
Are they related to anybody famous?
I don't know.
Okay, I didn't know if you knew. I was just curious if Jed Elliott is his name. I just wondered if he was related to Joe.
Don't know. That would be interesting if he was.
Especially being from England and all that. I mean,
right. Right. So if you don't know the Struts, dig into this record. It is so good. And if we get time, we'll post our list, and maybe we'll throw some videos up or something.
Yeah.
So that leads us to number 1. I couldn't deny this. I didn't have this at number 1 initially.
Okay.
But I just can't deny it. I just can't. Metallica, 72 Seasons.
Okay.
Metallica has had a resurgence since Death Magnetic. And then Hardwired. Oh my gosh, Hardwired. This is right in that same vein.
Yeah.
I don't know how a band as old as they are can continue to sound better and better and better and put out better music like these guys do. I'm not the biggest Metallica fan. You are.
Correct.
And I'm sitting there telling you it's the best record that came out last year. It's fantastic.
It goes along with a conversation I had recently at work, and people were talking about the past and how we'll say it like this, like somebody, if you used to work with somebody 10, 15 years ago, and you're like, I don't ever want to work with them again. I kind of related it to music, and I said, well, look, listen to your bands that you used to listen to as a kid. If they're still around, listen to them now. Do they still sound good? Yeah, some of them do. Some of them sound amazing. For me, I'll put Metallica up there just like you did, in regards to them still putting out some badass stuff. Sometimes it's maturity, and you can still listen to that music and hear how they've matured as a performer, just the same as if you're working with somebody, that you don't want to work with because they sucked 10, 15 years ago, but now maybe because of maturity, maybe they're going to be good or better than what they were. And that music relates to it. And freaking Metallica does it every single time for the past, 3, 4 albums now?
Right. They take so long between records because their tours are long and their breaks are longer. But I'm cool with that because if you put out a great record every 7 years, which is what Metallica does, I think it's every 7 years lately.
Yep.
I'll take it. I'll take it because we're still buzzing over the last record you put out.
Right. We're going to compare it. But because I did this one, with 72 seasons, I was like, oh, is this going to be as good as, Hardwired? And then it was like, holy crap. So, yeah, I think that's a very brilliant number one. It's fitting. It's fitting. I like it. A very good list. A very good mix. You had some surprises in there for me. We definitely have a couple of the same. We definitely have quite a few different. Again, through my list, I'm going to take this from the bottom up. This is in no way 10 to number one, with the exception of number one. I have my number one album. The rest of them, I don't think I would be. Maybe 1 and 2 I could do, but yeah, I'm so on my list we'll call it number 10 is Mammoth 2 from Wolfgang.
Great record.
We've already talked about it. I mean, it's phenomenal. It's definitely worth checking out. My next one, totally not on your list, not anything I think that you would listen to. It is Code Orange with The Above. Holy crap.
A lot when that came out.
So if you're not familiar with Code Orange, if you take Code Orange and you want to reference them to something in pop culture, you immediately go to the WWE, and rest his soul, Bray Wyatt, who was a very interesting character. His theme song was actually put together, his last 2 or 3, I think maybe 2 theme songs, was put together by this band and performed by Code Orange. Code Orange is very, I don't even know how to describe them. The name of the album is The Above, and they are metal. If you want to listen to some metal, they are metal. Totally good, not influenced, and you're not going to listen to it and be like, oh, I want to go wrestle. Nothing like that. I'm going to watch WWE now that I've listened to Code Orange. Not at all. It's phenomenal. You listen to that and you can see why a WWE superstar would want them to put together a theme song. They're incredible. 1, 2. So the third one on my list, again, not on your list, but I think it could be, is Sleep Token, Take Me Back to Eden.
You had mentioned that at one point. I have heard that band before. I've never listened to it.
Oh my gosh. It is almost, I'm not going to say Pink Floydish. It's like a mixture of Korn and Pink Floyd and almost Slipknot, because of the fact that nobody knows who they are. They wear masks. And
like Ghost.
Yes, sort of, but that album has got some operatic moments, metal. I mean, all of the above. Super talented band.
And just the name of the band, Sleep Token, evokes such a mysterious image. Like, what is Sleep Token, and what does that mean?
And how much are they?
Right. And how do I get them?
Yeah. Does it help me sleep? Yeah. The next on my list, this is 2 albums, but they were released within, I think, 3 months of each other. Same band put out 2 albums Fantastic albums, both of them. It's Atreyu, and they put out The Moment You Find, and then A Torch in the Dark. And those were, I think, were put out in August and November, respectively, or something like that. But phenomenal record. I learned about Atreyu, believe it or not, from listening to Octane, and heard a few of their songs, and I was like, okay, you don't want to check them out. This album, both of these albums, when they came out, man, I loved them. I loved them. They're one of those bands that I could listen to. That's one of the, both of those I can listen to, not want to skip a track at all. And that was
heavy records. What type of band?
No, I wouldn't say heavy. I mean, yeah, they're metal bands, but more like, it's kind of, I don't know. It's hard for me to explain. I'm not talking like, Metallica hard or Megadeth or, Slayer, Testament, nothing like that. But they've got a good, it's a very heavy rock vibe. And it's kind of like that theme of metal music that you get today, in the way it's all done today.
Way it's produced, how it sounds.
Yeah. The next two on my list, you had on yours. No, actually, this one you did not. God Mode from In This Moment.
Heard of them, know them.
Very, very good. And, another phenomenal female vocalist. Great. I think The Purge, I think, is the single that's in rotation now that a lot of people hear. Whole album is good. Next one on my list is The Call of the Void from Nita Strauss. You had already mentioned that. What a phenomenal album.
Such a good record.
So good. That's, I think, another one that you may skip one, but that's about it. Especially if you're listening to it for the guitar work and know what Nita Strauss can do. For me, it's listening to her. It's kind of like Mark Tremonti. Being able to listen to the stuff that he does, and you're just listening for that guitar sound and all the stuff that he does.
And that's part of the problem when you have guest vocalists. If you're going to skip, you might skip to that song that person's on, but you're missing the point of the record, which is to show off what Nita can do over the course of a whole record.
Exactly. Because that's what she does. I mean, it's awesome.
And I don't know if she can sing or not, but she keeps saying she won't sing. She never says she can, but she just won't, and you'll never hear it. I don't know why, because if you're going to put out records, at some point you might want to just do it yourself and put the focus on you. And that way, when you tour these clubs and stuff, you're not having to go find people.
True. But I mean, I'm okay with it. What can them fingers do? Because she's awesome. The next one on my list was also not on yours. This is Truth Killer from Seven Dust.
Oh, yeah. That just came out. I know that one.
13th studio album, I believe.
They've been around forever. It's crazy.
30 years. 3 decades they've been around. And they're still pumping stuff out. Phenomenal. I was listening to that actually today when I was at work. Man, it's just so good. That vocalist is strong. There's a lot of production in this album, and I was reading some reviews earlier where some people were saying it was like overproduced. I don't think it's so much that it's overproduced as it's just given the ability to hear everything. The vocals, the guitar, the bass, the drum. It's not mixed like In Justice for All, where you're not going to get the bass tracks. This is mixed like, it's not overproduced for me. It's everything is just on an even keel. And if you want to crank it up and turn the bass up in your car, you're going to hear those bass notes. You want to bring it down and hear all that guitar. I mean, it's a killer album. The next one, I don't think was on your list. I debated this as my top one, but I couldn't displace number one for this one. But the third one on my list is 6 from Extreme. Never in my life.
I knew there would be one I'd forget.
From the days of whatever years it was, 1980 something or 1990 something, never in my life would I have ever expected to put an extreme album on my top 10 for a year. I wasn't a More Than Words fan and that whole Poppy album, and I wasn't a big fan of, Gary Sharon and all that, but Nuno Betancourt has always been, to me, one of the most underrated guitar players.
He gets lost in the shuffle of those guys from the 80s.
Oh, totally.
I think.
But when this album came out, holy crap. You can hear the Eddie influence. You can hear this is Nuno. This is him. You may not like all the songs. Some of them are poppy. Some of them have a little catchy vibe to them or whatever. And then, of course, some of them are kind of heavy. The whole entire album is good. I couldn't think of one that I skipped. Last time when I was listening to it today, it's so good. So good.
You talk about the Eddie influence, but Nuno talks about that. He's saying he's the torch keeper now.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying, and he's trying to do that. The first single that came out, we talked about that because the solo in that is so amazing.
Yeah, I mean, you can listen to that one over and over and over, and I can't believe you left that off your list.
I totally forgot.
This next one, this was my number 2. Could have been number 1. I mentioned this earlier in the year and said this could very well be my album of the year. Life is But a Dream from Avenged Sevenfold. What a terrific album.
You and I are at juxtaposed cross purposes loggerheads on this because it's so different than not just any record you've heard. It's different from any Avenged Sevenfold record you've ever heard for sure.
Right.
So crazy what they've done with that record.
But
that's why you like it.
Yeah. It wasn't the same thing. I've told you before, I've said it on this show numerous times. That's part of the reason I wasn't an AC/DC fan, because everything sounded the same. They could have come out with something that was the same or whatever, but they didn't. They took this, they kicked it up into freaking all-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, 16 whatever, and it kicked my ass when I listened to this, and I threw it on big speakers so I could hear everything, and I'm like, what is this? And I think that's why I was so intrigued, because it's like it told a story and everything ran into each other and ran together, and you're like, oh, now I get it. Now I see how this all fits together. And easily my number 2. Could have been number 1. However, my number 1, and this was pretty easy for the most part, 72 Seasons from Metallica.
Yep.
You cannot beat that album.
You can't.
I'm sure there's a bunch that both of us have missed, but 72 Seasons from Metallica is easily maybe one of the best albums that's been put out in the last few years. Certainly, obviously, I think it's better than the last Metallica album, but I loved it just as much.
Wow.
Maybe. But 72 Seasons, I don't skip a single track. I crank it. It's going, and love it. If you've been living under a rock and you've not listened to 72 Seasons, listen to it. Go watch some videos. Those always make people better. Remember when we used to have MTV that actually played videos? So we'll post these lists so that way everybody can see them. We'll have the Ace list. We'll have the TbT list. We'll want your input. We're going to throw them up on our social media. Tell us some of the things we forgot. Some of the stuff that you think we should give a shot and try. Kathy just said Metallica rocks. Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people don't like him anymore because, they've sold out and blah, blah, blah. No, Metallica's still kicking ass.
They have the capability of being one of the biggest bands in the world, and they can do whatever the hell they want. You know, that whole debate on load, unload, reload, shoot the load, it's all good. It's all good. We can all agree that Lulu stinks and we hate St. Anger. We can agree on that.
I like St. Anger.
Okay, we can't agree on that.
But we can agree with Lou.
We can, yeah, that one.
Yeah.
But
St. Anger's is different.
Again, they can take the liberty to do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah.
Because they're going to reward you later down the road with something that kicks ass. And it's going to kick ass till the next one kicks ass.
And they're going to sell out every freaking show they do.
Right, with Wolfgang opening.
Yeah.
On some of those shows.
Yeah. So there you have it, folks. That is the TbT and Ace top 10 2023 albums, including 5 honorable mentions. I guess maybe like 7 because we had a couple that were the same. But we're going to post this.
So take the time. Take the time to listen to stuff you haven't heard or some new stuff. If you've never heard Dirty Honey or the Avenged Sevenfold record or something, take the time and listen to it. You might like something you heard.
Yeah. Testicular Torsion, one of the best bands out there. Look them up. Look them up on the YouTubes. They're great. Yeah, that kind of brings us to the end of this show. What an awesome episode to start off season 3. Way over our time that we usually try to stick by, but who cares?
We did all right.
Yeah. Yeah. We've been working on some guests. We're going to see what we can get this year. We still want your input. We appreciate everyone that listens, everyone that drops an email, suggestions, whatever you got, even questions, whatever it is. We appreciate you guys. And of course, we appreciate Kathy, Music and More Records. You can see it right there behind Ace if you're watching the video. Of course, Jason too with Bad Company Barbecue. We appreciate you guys. Natalie, we appreciate you when you show up on time. Wes, your smart aleck self is always welcome. And everybody else, we thank you for listening. We appreciate you continuing on this journey with us as we go into 2024 and season freaking 3. Who'd have thought? I mean, we're coming up on 100th episode.
I don't know what we'll do for that one.
Yeah, maybe we'll have cake.
Maybe.
Who knows? Will we be back next week?
As far as I know.
Okay. You don't want to take another 2-week hiatus?
It is nice having a break, but no.
It was. Yeah. So, yeah, we'll be back next week. Appreciate it. And, yeah, see you then. Bye.